Greetings, and a happy holiday to everybody. Happy Easter. And how with it, I am actually not. I just came from the store. The store is closed. It's Easter. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. But it's all good. Inspired Conversations. I want to talk about the teen takeovers that are happening everywhere. I think it's a spiritual revolt. I think it's definitely children or teenagers trying to send a message to everyone about how they feel about the current environment. What's going on in this political climate. And I'm not talking about just the current administration, because that's what everybody loves to do. They want to throw it on that guy, but he just as bad as the other guy and the other guy before him. All of them bad. They all bad. Nobody has stopped to ask the children or the teenagers or even the young adults how they feel about what's currently going on. And just as an example, during these, holidays, whether it be a spring break, Christmas break, or winter break, and, summer break, for my own life, and most people I know, we were always able to go and get a little summer job or a little winter break job or a spring break job and work for 2 weeks or a week or something and come up with some money. But I can tell you right now, they have no jobs. There are no jobs being offered to these young people. But there are jobs being offered to young people. See, most of these children that are being affected are urban and mainly Black American youth. And yeah, there's youth getting jobs, but they are not Black Americans. There are immigrants who have these small jobs like TJ Maxx, Bed Bath & Beyond, stuff at the mall, just little small stuff that you could go and just grab yourself a little job. And those people's parents are making sure that nobody can get those jobs but their children. So those children can't work. They're undereducated. They're malnourished. Nobody speaks to them. They speak about them. Nobody asks them how they feel. They probably don't even see a future for themselves. Then they have to deal with how their parents, the angst of their parents, when they go home, their parents may be out of work, or their parents may feel slighted and not heard and replaced, scammed. And people trying to take their reparations. And, they're responding to the climate. They're frustrated. They're upset. And I really feel that way because it's not just happening in one city. It's happening in urban cities. And the way they have it set up, of course, because we are just Black Americans in general, because I know most of those children are young Black Americans. We revolt. We tear shit up when we get angry. And, they make it so you have to tear up your own stuff. You don't hear much about this happening. And if we're talking about Detroit, those kids aren't revolting in West Bloomfield. Here, they're revolting in Atlanta. They're teen takeover in Atlanta, but they're not teen takeover in Sandy Springs. They're, in Chicago, it's teen takeover in Chicago, Hyde Park, but it's not teen takeover in Tinley Park or Orland Park. They're doing it in the urban areas because that is on purpose. They know that when things aren't going right, we do revolt. And the adults aren't doing it right now. We're resting. So the children are like, but what about us? Nobody's asking us how we feel. Nobody's asking us how this is affecting us. It's crazy, but that is what I think. That's what I think is happening with these teen takeovers. I think they're trying to speak in the only way they know how. I think it is a spiritual uprising where they are trying to talk because nobody's listening, and this is how it's coming out. Yeah, that's and I've said this to a couple of different people. But when I saw it happen in Detroit, I was like, so I was like, okay, you know what? Let me say something. But even that, just in general, I want to say that, you know what? That Chili thing, that is, that sister can't tour and all this other stuff because she did something with her own money, which is, that's just so wow. Y'all want to stop this woman from being an entertainer, which is all she is. I mean, like, when the last time you actually did something that Chili said politically? When the last time you listened to a song that Chili did? Like, how is that happening? However, people are buying gumbo that's making people sick. And people still haven't forgiven Chrisette Michele for singing at the inaugural thing for whatever, Trump. And yet, nobody said nothing to Snoop, and ain't nobody said nothing to Nelly. And it's like, that's wild to me. And now y'all made so much noise that she can't make no money, and now her not being able to make money is affecting En Vogue and Salt and Pepper and all these. Like, that's just wild. That woman is in a whole different tax bracket than the majority of us. And does it really matter what she does with her own money? Heck, she's supporting somebody who probably will benefit her, because we keep supporting people that don't ever benefit us and get mad at each other when something else happens. It's just so wild to me. But I went off on a tangent for a moment. I was talking about the kids. Yeah. But seriously, I think we need to pay attention to the language, because everything's a language. And those kids are trying to say something. That's what I think. It's my opinion. Inspired conversations. Y'all be well, stay well. And happy holiday. Don't go to the store. Peace.